Well, hello. Welcome back. And if this is your first time, nice to meet you. I'm Fabian. I also go by Rockwell. And I do all sorts of things here. But in today's video, I really have been wanting to make a playlist with you guys. And I just thought it would be kind of nice to see the process of how I build a playlist. I think that curating is such a fun thing to do, and it's one of my favorite hobbies. So, in partnership with my series LOLLARADIO.FR, which is currently consists of 2 playlists, and we're about to build one together. Basically leading up to Lollapalooza the festival, considering I have gone quite a bit in my lifetime, I really wanted to divulge in all of the artists that are present within this year's lineup. I did this one as a way to really see what would interest me, and also to not look at the lineup and feel like, oh my god, I don't really know anybody. Because it's a festival, it's showcasing all kinds of artists, and of course there's going to be a handful of people that every individual knows, but part of enjoying music is the experience of it, the live experience of it. Everything isn't just consumable. Art, especially music, is more important than the culture takes care of it. So that was a little bit deeper than I thought it was going to be, but welcome. If you kind of like that concept, please check out my last videos. They were conversations around all of the years that I did go to Lollapalooza and what my experiences were and what I maybe would have changed afterwards. It's quite a long video and I wasn't able to post it all at once, so I did do it in 3 parts. But check out whatever feels right to you, and if not, welcome along on the journey. And the more important thing is the music. So this brings us to LOLLA Radio, the former years. Now, this is something that I really have had in my back pocket for a while, as far as like an idea, I suppose. But the former years is a prequel playlist to LOLLARADIO.FR. And of course one day I would love the channel, but it's really hard to marry like playing music without being copyrighted on YouTube and having segmented things. So for now, they exist as conversations and a playlist to follow. But in line with what my previous year's experiences were, I thought it would be a fun little project to actually build a playlist based off of the set lists I've gone to in those previous years. So here I specifically, and I pre-did this so that it wasn't going to be taking us so much time and so that there's a really nice flow, but I highlighted the artists that I did get to see when I went to my former years. And they're not every day. We talked about every day in those videos, but I did not go to every single day of Lollapalooza every year. So we do officially start with 2017. And in that conversation, I did mention that we got to the park right as it started. It was my first LOLLA experience ever. Top tier, amazing. But we did only experience it one day, and so you know, looking at that lineup that year, I think we would have had a lot of really fun things in this set list had I gone all 4 days. And there were people like the Districts that I did go see. We might have briefly passed Scout. I actually think we did. Let's unpublish this for now. And I basically have the former years pre-made because last year I was going to do LOLLA Radio and I didn't launch it publicly. I just made it a collaborative thing between me and our group that went. And so once the year kind of finished, I took all of the set lists that I did see, and I like to pick a standout track that really speaks to that experience. And I actually was looking at this the other day, and I think I want to swap some songs. Most of them I will not, but I do think I want to swap a couple. But this was the accumulation of 2025 for my year last year, and we did go all 4 days, so that was a really fun experience. And it takes us needing the research for, you know, this set list this year. So anyways, see, we're not even gonna do it. Like, if I don't have the artist in here, I just don't want it. It wasn't meant to be. So really the first artist I remember really seeing was Kaleo. And if I look at Kaleo's set list, which of course they were midday, so it wasn't too major. So silly of them. That's the one. Oh yeah. So if they played Vori Vaglas Skogi, I would have used that just because that's such a good track to open up an entire playlist. But you know what? No Good is actually a great option as well. So we're gonna go ahead and add No Good as our standout track to Kaleo's set list. Okay. And then we also had seen The Killers and a little bit of DJ Snake. So I also want to say we like floated past Pentagram and we sat down for Run the Jewels a set ahead of The Killers. And I already know what song we're going to use with Killers, because it was the only time I've ever heard this song live from them. But we're going to go ahead and slap Shadow Play in there. I will still show you guys the set list. They played The Man, which was around the time that they came back. It was pretty cool because I feel like the Killers were a little absent for a while, and so the hype around them really began because it had really just felt like we were seeing an artist that potentially we weren't going to ever see again. And thankfully the Killers have become such an active band since this kind of performance that it was just really worth it. But yeah, I think we got like kind of like here. We either left around 9 or 10. I don't remember us staying for the entire set. And I do remember hearing this from a distance and like really wanting to cry about it. Same thing like A Dissonant Fairy Tale. I actually think we were leaving at this song, if I'm not mistaken. One of these two songs we were leaving, and I just remember walking away and feeling like it was tough to walk away from, especially because they were playing some of these. But anyways, moving on. That was 2017. I think for shits and giggles, we can put DJ Snake in here, sure. Why not? I just remember we really got to actually experience this song, and we were, you know, a little bit towards the left side of the stage. But I remember that being like really fun, and you know, apologies for the loud noises. However, I do live in the city. It happens. And if I sat here and edited everything out all day, it wouldn't be fun for me. And this is super chill. So, it's life. But anyways, that was 2017. So, just to make sure that we are not losing ourselves here, we're gonna move the songs right up to where they should be put. Right. Stop. Here we go. So funny. It's like I don't even listen to Kaleo anymore, but around the time I really liked that album. I think more than what I have saved now, but like over time things grow and you're just like, yeah, it changes. And I haven't kept up with them, so I really don't know. All right, on to 2018. We went all 4 days this year, and if we're looking at this, really the highlights were Arctic Monkeys and Camila Cabello. This is around when she debuted her solo project, and this was around the time that Arctic Monkeys came out with their follow-up record to AM, which a lot of people weren't ready for. But it was a great album to experience live. Like specifically live, that was a great album to experience. I know we've seen Churches and maybe past Franz Ferdinand, but again, like if I don't specifically remember being there, we're not doing it. This was Camila Cabello's set list at the time. You know, she really started this video introduction. Amazing vocals with Never Be the Same. I don't know what a good standout here would be. It might be She Loves Control. Just because I remember the dance break to that really well. I'm just gonna do Never Be the Same because for a first day set list to a new year, it feels a little bit more grandiose. There is quite a bit of Camila Cabello's first record that is leaving the interest gate, I guess you could say. Wow, this was a great set list, Arctic Monkeys. They are insane. Let's go to the Arctic Monkeys. And just because I specifically remember some of this record here, I'm gonna put the Ultra Cheese in there. Look, don't judge me, okay? I never have gone back to this album, and at the time I really only liked this. There was another song that I really liked. I do think it was 4 out of 5. But look, I love me some Arctic Monkeys, and yeah. You know, it's really hard not to put 505 in here. I actually think I'm gonna do that. I think that feels a little bit more correct to me than the Ultra Cheese, just because I remember them playing 505. I don't really remember them playing the Ultra Cheese. I remember 4 out of 5. I think I really remember The View from the Afternoon, and I really do remember Crying Lightning into 505. And of course, this whole sequence here was absolutely major. But most of this concert experience, I don't remember too well. It was 8 years ago. But okay, so same thing here. We want alright, that just might be a little bit easier for me, like, while we do this, okay? Alright, Never Be the Same and 505. Let's bring them up. And they're gonna come right here. So we've got 2017 and the beginning of 2018. Set list going good so far. The next day into Lollapalooza 2018 was Friday, August 3rd. And we experienced kind of the sameness. I cannot believe Alina Baraz was right here and I did not go see her. Like, I would have remembered seeing Alina Baraz, and I can't specifically say that we did. Like, even Tyler, the Creator, being right here, like, I mean, it's a pretty good spot. I'm surprised Walk the Moon wasn't where Tyler, the Creator is, you know. But they were, I think, at their height at the time with one foot in front of the other. Also don't know how I missed Neighborhood. I think I literally was like, oh, I want to go see Walk the Moon. And I had seen The Neighborhood. And I think this was my first time seeing Walk the Moon. But yeah, let's see, what was our set list? 1 Foot, of course, Lisa Baby, banger. Portugal, banger. Shiver Shiver, banger. The first song that's gonna go on here is Surrender. I do remember that. Actually, standing out, I think I remember Headphones more. But for the playlist purposes, nah, we have to do Headphones. Surrender is such a beautiful song, and I want to say we got here a little bit late, or we were really far back and like kind of just enjoying it from afar, and then I think we got a little bit closer for some of this. I do remember them doing this here. This was cool, but we had left around that time, or like we started to leave. We did go see Borns this day. Actually, Borns was like the highlight of this day, but after the festival, we realized he was kind of a creep and all his allegations happened. And so, like, I don't have anything Borns in my catalog, but I will say, like, for the time that it was and us not having that information, it was such a good time. It really was such a fun set. Actually, this year at Lakeshore was phenomenal, especially at Sunset. It's just it's so good. And then Bruno Mars had Finesse. This was that time, and it was actually really fun. I remember having such a good time at this set, and the thing is, I don't have Bruno Mars like that, so I'm not gonna put him in here right now, but I do think that when the time comes and I really start to, you know, re-divulge into his discography, that I will throw in a song in there that I start to remember really hit. Or, you know, once I have also been planning to maybe go through all my old videos and stuff, and maybe once that happens and I feel that something is right, I will put it in there for us, okay? But right now it doesn't feel like, because I'm not too attached to it, that I don't want to put something in there, you know, that doesn't exactly feel right. So, headphones is the only one that makes it for now. Alright. See how much smoother this is going? When we did the other videos, we had to literally like do this, and yeah. So this is another day where both of these artists both of those artists, I actually don't have any of their music in here either. I used to have a lot of Vampire Weekend, but I felt really disconnected with them after like literally, yes, Essential Records. After this record, it like did something for me that I was just like, you know what, I don't feel connected to any of your guys' music right now. Diane Young, I remember that. Hannah Hunt. Just a little trip down memory lane here, I suppose. However, we're going to this was genuinely probably the highlight of Vampire Weekend, is that they really did start with playing this song 3 times. It was actually fucking legendary, and at the same time, they had us thinking we were going insane. Like, actually so funny. I had just seen it. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do Oxford comma for this one, and I actually do want to add a St. Vincent track as well, because St. Vincent was such a standout artist. It might be basic of me, but I am gonna do Los Angeles. One moment. Yeah, I do really feel like these two were like some pretty standout set lists that I got to experience, and it would be cruel of me to not actually include them in this playlist because they were so pivotal to my 2018 experience. like, yeah, like, while I don't remember these songs, like, I do remember this beginning sequence, but we stayed for this entire set list of St. Vincent's because we stayed through until Vampire Weekend. We got such a good view for Vampire Weekend, and it was their first time back, like, in the public eye as well in such a long time. And Lollapalooza was their, like, first thing. So, like, so them doing that, like, bit, it just made it, like, so extra special. This was even the encore of them, so I even kind of might throw Obvious Bicycle in there once we're done, but I'm not upset at my choices right now here. So there's that. The last day was literally the best day of Lollapalooza 2018, and I got to see Kali Uchis for the first time. I watched Likey Lee solo, and it was so beautiful and amazing. I didn't care that I was like one of the only people in that crowd singing, because you could tell people were waiting for probably Jack White, to be honest. Portugal the Man fucking killed it. They opened with a Beavis and Butthead like bit, and it was just funny. And Odessa was just iconic. So let's pick some songs. Kali Uchis kind of completely floored me, and I really think it's Your Teeth in My Neck. It actually might be Nuestro Planeta. She didn't do Tomorrow here, but I did get to experience Tomorrow in a later thing. So yeah, I'm gonna throw Nuestro Planeta in here because that feels right. She just wore the most beautiful outfit ever. It was this white fringe, like, two-piece pant and like top set, and it was just so cute. And this really made me fall in love with her. Like, I'm so happy about it. Likey Lee had just came out with So Sad, So Sexy, and that was such a good experience. So I was like really happy that I got to hear a lot of, you know, that era of hers. I don't know what feels right in here. It's either Deep End, Hard Rain. I think it's Hard Rain. Let's do Hard Rain. Portugal the Man. Alright. I cannot believe they did so many covers. Look at this. Metallica, Pink Floyd, sort of Wu-Tang Clan thrown in there vibes, T-Rex cover, snippet of the Rolling Stones, snippet of Ghostface Killah, The Home, and the Beatles. Like, babes, it's fucking awesome that we can do that. We went for Portugal the Man though. So if you're like getting all this, like, oh, such a banger, man. This Another Brick Wall Part 2. There's no way at the time in 2018 that I appreciated that they did this. I remember being really shocked hearing Number One, just like not expecting them to sing that from the record. I actually think we're gonna put Number One in there just because it really was a standout for the first time that I got to see Portugal the Man. It's in this album. And then wow, okay, so we did already do these two. Alright. For Odessa, we are going to do Intro and A Moment Apart just because they really belong together. those two songs. And that introduction for Odessa's set was so good and crisp and just seamless that, like, this is like the one exception. Plus, you know, it like really flows into each other. I do remember them doing the locomotion. That's fucking awesome to remember. This was just such a great show. Like, I just remember them doing all this cool shit, like even the drums lighting up and stuff, and just using these authentic instruments to achieve like their sound live is really cool and very appreciated, because it's not just like they're mixing electronic music as you're listening, they're performing their work, like, you know, genuinely. So that was 2018, and what a good time. I like don't have the right vibe here for them. 2019, we went to go see Ariana and Casey Musgraves. At the time, I really was like so annoyed that everybody was listening to Casey. Like, I hate when people just jump on bandwagons. So I like kind of forced myself not to really listen to her. I will survive, and as long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. I got all my love to give, I got all my life to give. I think that's the other way. And I'll survive, I will survive, yeah. Ariana was basically the main event here. I remember so much of this so well. Like, God as a Woman into Bad Idea was just insane. I do remember her performing Boyfriend with Social House. She probably doesn't even talk to them anymore. My favorite thing from Sweetener Tour was NASA Live, because it highlighted so much instrumentation that like really made a difference in the live performance versus the song. But I am and always will be NASA's biggest fan. I kind of want to put Rem in here. I feel like that was something. It's gonna be so specific, isn't it? Sure enough. Okay. That was 2019. Amazing. I love seeing this go down. Like, actually needed that. But let's go back to our playlist and see how she's doing. And we're gonna take all of these songs. I deserve to revisit Casey's album, like, genuinely. All right, place it right there. So that was all of 2018 and 2019. We're building a great fucking playlist here, are we not? All right. Lollapalooza 2022, because I did not attend 2020 from COVID. It was virtual. 2021, I was still too anxious and paranoid about everything, so I missed out on Miley Cyrus. But we did decide to go a couple of days in 2022, starting with Inhaler. We got there a little bit late, so I only got to catch the ending of their set. The last three. But I'm gonna put My Honest Face. What a banger, bro. When It Breaks, man, I cannot believe I missed that. Oops. It wasn't me, actually. It wasn't my fault. Tuvelo, we got to see her. This was our second time seeing her, and it was amazing seeing her on her feet. She had just came out with this. Hearing Cool Girl in the summer at a festival is life-changing. I think To Die For might be the one here. Talking body. Of course she flashed us. She was always gonna flash us. And then Zoo. Zoo didn't have a set list for where I find them. By the way, like, I go to setlist.fm. Not Fabian, not my name, but that's where I go to get all of the set lists, and it is user generated. So most people are uploading the set lists, you know, as they're seeing people live. But a lot of times the really intimate artists don't get showcased. So if you're a really big fan of an intimate artist, I encourage it. That way people know and can discover a little bit easier. If you're not setlist people, totally fair. If you like experiencing things completely like blind and live, go for it. I like knowing the possibilities of songs that I can hear, because sometimes it's not always this, it's not always set in stone, but you can gauge a pretty good sense of, you know, what it is. But it is also a really cool tool to see what people did play, especially like what song, like if you've seen an artist a couple of times, you can always see like what songs you got to experience live that you might not ever get to again. You know, like Portugal the Man, I'll probably never hear that song in my life again. Okay. It was around this time. Ooh, The Sky Is Crying. That's the one. It's hard not to put Studio 54 in here, but I've kind of ran that song dry. And I remember Sky Is Crying being such a cool song to experience live. His whole set was so cool. His whole set was so cool, and it was the first time I got to see him, being a fan of his for so long, that it's important to be in there, okay? So now we can go into Tinashe. He did do his song with Tinashe as well, but we're not gonna do that. My girl fit this in an hour, by the way. This is talent. This is hard work. This is dedication to the craft. Tinashe does not fucking play, okay? Love her. We're gonna put Hit Me Up for a Good Time in here just because, duh. But so much of this was so good. Like, even I argue Naturally, but Naturally feels like a very seasonal song to me, so I'm not gonna do that. But Die a Little Bit was also great. X was great live. Obviously, Link Up, 2 On, All Hands on Deck. Like, I remember all of this. But I remember really, really, really enjoying Hit Me Up for a Good Time. It was just so fun. I just remember having so much fun. It's also hard not to put Bouncin' on every playlist as the song for her, because that is the song for Tinashe, but yeah. And then we seen Glass Animals. And this was around Dreamland. I'm gonna put Youth in there just because it was the first time I got to see Glass Animals live, and I never thought I would hear Youth live, and yet there I was. And then Dua fucking Lipa. Man, this whole thing was amazing. I really remember Cold Heart in here. I don't know why I'm feeling a little sentimental, but I think I'm gonna do that. Oh. Cold, cold heart. I don't think I saved that song. I know I had it for a little bit, but oops. So then I would say that's my baby girl right there. That is my wife. Well, she's not my wife anymore, but she's somebody's wife. She's an Aquarius's wife. Yeah, it's pretty please. It is pretty please. Man, Dua Lipa was life-changing. I miss her so much every day. All right, let's check on our Pookie. Wow, this is coming together really nicely, I have to say. And the fun part about it is going to be listening to it. But we're not listening to it together. It will be linked below. But listening to it on my own time is going to be quite the experience. Okay. The last day we went was Sunday, July 31st, 2022. We started with the Marias. It was so hot. It was so uncomfortable. We just ended up leaving because if we didn't, we weren't going to have a good time, basically. So it's one of these two. I'll just put just a feeling because and then for Charlie, it's so hard because Charlie played so much that was so, like, Lightning was insane, Constant Repeat was insane, Baby, I can't even believe she played Yuck. We'll probably, like, there it is, we'll literally never hear that again. But Party For You was great, Used to Know Me. I really think, though, in this, it's Visions. Just because her performance for Visions was so, like, jaw-dropping. And I literally was like, man, you know how to prove a bitch wrong, is all I'm gonna say. We did go see Banks, but I really wasn't the biggest fan of her album this year. Or around this era. And so we stayed for a chunk of it more than anything. So in this situation, like, how did you not play I Still Love You? We're gonna fight. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna fight. The devil. Man, I really didn't like this album, guys. Gemini Feed, banger. Fuck With Myself, banger. Better, Waiting Game, banger. The Devil was alright. Skinny Dip, though, I think is the one. And then this is like, this was pretty much expected. So I think after Fuck, or like during Fuck Love, I want to say we left. Alright. 2023. We are getting so close. We're getting closer than we've ever been. We got to see New Jeans. I was actually just listening to New Jeans today, so this is kind of crazy. And nobody can touch what New Jeans was doing. And I really hope that everything works out for them and that we get to see a return of New Jeans one day. Especially because they're probably going to come back a little bit more mature. But, man, we really got to see some kind of history that day. It was something else. So I personally really liked hearing her live. There we go. But I think I'm gonna put Ditto in there. This was such a good set list though, but you can tell like they were like remixing things, like, you know, things showed up multiple times just because they didn't have the biggest discography at the time. Portrait of the Man, this time that I seen them was fucking god tier legendary shit. Like, they weren't gloating about being the best band ever, they were the literal best band ever this day. And this whole montage that they did was batshit. This was like, they just took this really psychedelic approach to their set list, and I just couldn't get over it. The highlight though here is Plastic Covers. Oh man, they really like doing their, Plastic Islands. I said cover because I seen cover here. But Plastic Island, I can't believe I got to hear that live. This is such a good song. And it definitely was a highlight. I just remember recording it and then needing to stop recording because I was like, I need to be in the moment. Dummy is a really funny song, so I really kind of like that. So Young is a banger. This whole sequence is great. Like this, but I can't even get over this. Like, All Your Light Into the Sun. Fuck, man, that was so good. And I'm glad that they did a different rendition of this. I remember it not being so like, oh gosh, this song again, you know? Summer of Love was good too. But yeah. And then... okay, Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish. Oh man, this really did stand out too. Can't even lie. It might be Happier Than Ever. Ooh, Goldwing though. Billie Eilish was also really life-changing. Can't even explain it. Just go see her one day. TV was beautiful. We cried. How do I not add like 30 songs from this? I'm gonna put Goldwing. I don't know. I keep hearing that in my head. It just like, she did the coolest introduction and like all the lights were golden and it just like spread open like this. Oh, Billie, I miss her. Happier Than Ever, like literally an entire thousands and thousands of people crying, by the way. But I will say by the time we seen her, like that was such an overplayed song. Not My Responsibility. That fucking interlude was everything. Oxytocin was fucking everything. And Happier Than Ever, I had never experienced full body chills the way that I did this day with Happier Than Ever. So it is generally hard not to add a lot of these songs, but I feel good about Goldwing. So we're gonna take off that day. This day, I really couldn't tell you what time we got there. I just know we sat through Little Yachty, and worst time of my life. Actually, second worst time of my life. I actually would have rather sat through Little Yachty again than fucking Max Minown, bro. Okay, but Rina Sawayama didn't fucking have to do what she did, but she did. And I'm just gonna put Comme des Garçons in here because it feels immediately right. If not, it is Hold the Girl. Hold the Girl. Nah, it's Comme des Garçons. And then Lana, I can already tell y'all what song it is for me for Lana. It's Arcadia. And I only know that because this is the first time that I ever bawled my eyes out watching Lana Del Rey. I thought I would have when I watched her for the first time. I didn't. I don't even think I cried when she played Cinnamon Girl for the Not Her NFR tour. A&W probably could have made it had she actually played the entire song. Fucking bitch. Oh, Chemtrails Over the Country Club was the first one that got me. This, Into the Grants, I had started crying. I couldn't. Pretty When You Cry, I love it, but she does the same performance every time. Of course, it's amazing. Ride Monologue made me cry, just like growing up with her and stuff, but Arcadia made me bawl my eyes out. I couldn't believe she even sang Diet Mountain Dew. Like, that was so much fun. And then this was just such a good way to close out. Like, man, that was definitely my favorite time seeing Miss Lana Banana. Before we get into 2024, we just want to make sure that our playlist is up to date. And so we're going to pull this year right to where it belongs, right above Miss Magdalena Bay, okay? Now, let's get to 2024. This is a year that we did go all 4 days. 2024 actually was the first year that we were like, you know what, we like people on the day, like on the lineup, and it felt like the first year that wasn't like major artists that were grabbing our attention to really go, but it was like the mix of everybody. And then it just so happened that like when the days got announced, everything was split so beautifully that we were just like, we made a good call. And so this was the first year that we really kind of made that casual decision to just go and have a good time at the festival. And yeah, let's get into it. So Chapel Roan, super major. Around this time I really was there for like Picture You and Casual. I still had a really good time with all of the other songs, of course. But I think it's this. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it fucking is. Okay, and then this, it's gonna be Francesca. Oh, Angel of Small Death, though. For Hozier. Nah, it's Francesca. And all things end. I'm not going to include a Labyrinth song just because we're so far from him in the back. We really just went for the vibe of Labyrinth. And it was like just a good place for us to like get a moment, chill, rest a bit, vibe to the sounds, you know, sip our drinks, that kind of thing. Victoria Monet, fucking standout artist of Lollapalooza, by the way. She's gonna be the next artist that I do this for. Man, everything about this was so fucking good. Party Girls, oh my god. Her doing a rendition of Baby Boy from Beyonce for this was so good. Like, just this entire thing, you guys, like, literally speechless. Fucking crackhead ass SZA. Fucking amazing ass beautiful girl. I think it's this. I think it's I Hate You. Prom 2 is really nice. Damn, she did 20 something for the encore. I remember that. fucking special makes me cry every this thing made me cry. This moment did. Can't even lie. But I remember being really, really anxious during like the half of SZA's set. Not that I hate you in there. No, you guys, it's Ghost in the Machine. Because she didn't fucking play that on tour, and I just remember being like, oh my god, it's Ghost in the Machine. Why not both, right? But no. Okay. Now. Saturday, August 3rd, 2024. I want to say we've seen the last TV Girl song. So I don't want to put them in there. Cool. I guess I'll just take these off for now. Nah, it's fine, right? You guys don't care. It's crazy though, because it really is right there. Okay. Ethel Kana. For Ethel Kane, we were there through Thoroughfare, which is crazy because we really would have heard Crush. Oh man. But it was really a family tree that took me out. And Ethel Kane is an artist just to go see live. Like, go see. Okay. Like, I want to throw amber waves on that hoe, but I can't do it. Well, oh my god, Dust Bowl. Nah, it was Dust Bowl. I want to do Dust Bowl. So then before we continue, we'll check on our girl, remove that. Bump these up. San Francisco, where's your disco? Alright. Fucking seeing Romy. I just loved being able to see this, and it was, in fact, the sea. Could have been weightless too, but we're gonna put the C in there, okay? We did get to see Tate as well, which I was shocked for myself with, but you know, I remember getting to hear a couple of these, and I'm not really the biggest Tate fan. You see? So we're not gonna give her a track there just yet, but if I did, it might be this or this. But I don't like the songs enough to keep them in my catalog, so I'm gonna leave it where it was, which was a good time and a good experience live, okay? And then we got to watch The Killers again, and it just was amazing because we stayed for the entire time, and we just, you know, really got to experience something really, really nice. But it is Boy from this set list that really took the cake, because I was not expecting to hear Boy live. So I do remember this really standing out for me. For me, for my heart, for my soul, it really did something for me. Okay, Sunday, August 4th, 2024. We start with Pierce the Veil, and I just remember being so floored seeing Pierce the Veil live. I was not expecting this, and then they just completely amazed me with a cover of Karma Police. Man, like we need to talk about this. Banger, 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 banger. Absolute bangers, nothing but bangers. Oh yeah. The green cover is so good. I don't like having doubles of things, so when I see them, chop. Two Door Cinema Club live was fucking everything. I had never seen them in festival format, and it was such a highlight. Un momento. Well, please ignore my hair as well. I have to throw a bandana on, and I literally do not ever pull this look off anymore, but I need to keep my hair out of my face. It's too hot. It's too hot. Okay. I want to give this to Changing of the Seasons and Sun. It's actually really hard between the two. But I think because I never expected hearing this either. First of all, Golden Veins would have banged live. They played us. And the next time they want to do an anniversary tour for anything, it needs to be for fucking Beacon, because this is a fucking immaculate album. But yeah, they had such a good set list. That was actually one of my favorite set lists, like, of all times. And there was also Zed's Dead, which I added something here for you because they did this beautiful little sequence of this from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is where we know it from, but I think that that's a great way to close off that year. And then you fall into 2025, which I told you guys I wanted to change up some things. And there's only a couple of songs that I wanted to do this for. So I'm gonna change the Magdalena Bay song. And then while we do this, just because they closed their set with the beginning, and it was the only song they played from this fucking immaculate 10 out of 10 record, Miss Mercurial World. And at the time I did have True Blue in there just because this really was a standout as well, but for the sake of the playlist changing a little bit, I do want to put that in there. And actually, that's the only thing I wanted to change. Everything else in here is good. Yeah. Oh yeah, everything else in here is banger. Banger, banger, banger. Perfect. Okay, yeah, so that's it. We did it. We built a playlist together, and now we can post this. A collection of past year's standout moments with a singular track. Please enjoy. If you've been to any of these former years, always with love, Fabian Rock. Actually, always with love.fr. Okay, done. That's amazing, you guys. I had so much fun doing this, and I'm happy that I pushed myself to do so, only because it was quite a day, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna get the energy to really get to this, but I am actually really happy that I went ahead and decided to do so. It is a little bit easier than I was anticipating, and I think it really was because I got to do all the groundwork, but I really wanted to keep a home for, you know, the festival experience curation. And it's like the past 2 years I'll create my LOLLA playlist and then delete it, but it's like a playlist is made and is supposed to have so much intention behind it, and you're supposed to go back to what you did. And so I really like this. I've had to personally do this for myself, but like force myself to go back to things that you start. Like, you know, like I don't know if anyone else is like this, but I will write down a list of like the same thing so many times in different ways on different sheets of paper and stuff. And so like for that, for example, I finally have really built the habit in of like, okay, have a notes tab on your phone and then go back to it. So that way, like, when you think like, oh, I have all these things in my head, oh, right, I can just go back to that one specific place where it already lives, instead of creating another thing that is just gonna make things more disorganized and messy. And so the same thing kind of exists for the former years, where it's like, okay, I'm always making a Lollapalooza playlist and then deleting it and then making a new one next year. But like, I want to remember all of my experiences. I want to remember the artists that I got to see. I don't want to lose those things. They are cherished memories for me because I love concerts. I love shows. And so for me, LOLLA Radio, the former years, is really important and crucial because while I have LOLLA Radio present, when it's all said and done, it's going to be updated and added into the former years. So 2026 will be added, and instead of us having to sit here and, you know, do the research and find all of it, it will already be done. It will be so like, okay, well, I can just put this here, and then now I enjoy all of it, all of my LOLLA experiences in one place, in one home. So I really appreciate if you've taken the time to sit through and watch this video. If you want to check this playlist out, please do so. I personally like Apple, but I will also include a Spotify link of the completed former years playlist, and keep an eye on it for when it updates with 2026. The next video that we're really going to get into is actually starting to chat about the artists of 2026. We have the lineup. I've done a lot of things to really have that really in-depth conversation with you guys, but we will go day by day by the days that I'm going this year. I'm not going all 4 days, but I am going 3 out of the 4, and I'm glad and very happy to share my experience with you guys for what LOLLA 2026 is going to bring. And along with that, there is the LOLLA Radio playlist itself, which currently is in like phase 2 of its work, where I am adding all of the tracks for all of the artists that I will get to see based on the set times that are currently released. It changes if the set list changes, meaning if somebody cancels and gets replaced, if a stage gets moved last minute. They did it with Chapel and Casho before, and it was kind of a mess, but if that happens again for some reason, then, you know, things might get reformatted a little bit. But I am currently updating that, so I will also have LOLLARADIO.FR linked below. And if you like this, you know all the YouTube things to do. I'm just happy if you watch the video, to be honest. And have a good night. Bye.